canceled. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
In Trinidad, the city's water problems continue to be a hot topic of discussion. Council was set to have a water workshop this evening, but that event was canceled just hours before with no apparent reason given. KLTV 7's JD Conti was there tonight as some residents showed up anyway.
This is something that needs to be talked about now, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, like they had posted, they were going to have it today, not cancel it.
Misty and David Logan hoped to attend the Trinidad City Council meeting tonight. Instead, they and several others found themselves sitting outside City Hall.
It is obviously apparent that our elected officials do not want to answer to the citizens here in the city of Trinidad.
The city was set to have a water workshop at 6 p.m. Instead, the council meeting was canceled with a public notice posted after 2 p.m. Mayor Dennis Hawes told KLTV it was canceled at the advice of council, but no clear reason was given.
It's just embarrassing.
It is. It's very embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
The Logans were the first residents here tonight.
Trinidad water, you want to drink it?
They decided to have their own meeting. That's because for the Logans, these weeks of controversy have been more than headlines.
Got a daughter that was chemically burned. We got questions with no answers. And tonight was supposed to be a night about the water topic.
They say their daughter suffered chemical burns after taking a shower. The family's attorney sent us this, a test of the Logan's water that appears to show dangerous levels of free chlorine. KLTV cannot confirm Trinidad water caused her injuries, but her parents, 18-year residents of the town, are convinced.
After watching our daughter go through what she went through from head to toe, Mama Bear's out. I'm done. I'm not standing back.
They want answers and unity for their town of around just 800 people.
We all should have each other's backs. There should be everybody backing each other up. The city workers need clean water here. We need clean water at our house. We got businesses here. They need clean water.
JD Conti, KLTV 7 News.
The city is currently facing 2 lawsuits from people who were arrested by the city's police department in relation to the water situation.